Hello everyone and welcome to my channel called Demon Story Time. Thank you so much for coming, for your likes, for your comments, for your donations. All information about donations you can find down below in comments. Today we continue reading this book called Grimm's Fairy Tales, and in a minute we see what story we're reading today. And our story is called The 12 Dancing Princesses. Once upon a time, there was a king who had 12 beautiful daughters. Each night, they settled down to sleep in their bedroom, and the king locked the door to keep them safe. But then something very strange will happen. In the morning, the princesses' shoes all had holes worn in the soles, just as if they had been danced in all night. Neither the king nor his wisest advisors had any idea how it happened. But morning after morning, it was the same. There were 12 worn out pairs of shoes by the 12 beds. At last, the king sent messengers through the land to announce that if anyone could discover what was going on, he could marry whichever princess he liked best. But anyone who tried and failed will be thrown out of the kingdom, never to return. Well, many princes and dukes and earls, and knights came from far and wide to try their luck. Each night, one of them was locked into the princess's room, determined to stay awake and watch and find out what happened. But each night the young man fell asleep. In the morning there were 12 pairs of worn out shoes, and the young man was none the wiser. By the afternoon he had been banished from the land forever. Time passed, until hardly any young man arrived anymore to find out what was happening to the shoes. But then a soldier came wandering into the kingdom on his way home from battle. He came across an old woman on the road and offered to carry her heavy basket for her. The old woman was very pleased and told him about the chance to win one of the princesses as his wife. Listen carefully, she said. In the evening, one of the princesses will bring you a goblet of wine. Just pretend to drink it, then make it look as though you are fast asleep. She brought out a cloak from her basket and gave it to him, saying, "Whenever you put this on, you will become invisible." Wow, nice. You will be able to watch what the princesses do without them seeing you. The soldier thanked the old woman many times and set off to the castle. There he was welcomed very warmly. In the evening he was shown into the princess's bedroom, and the king locked the door. Just as the old woman had said, one of the beautiful girls brought the soldier a goblet of wine. The soldier remembered that he had to do an what he had to do, and he threw it away when the princess wasn't looking. Then he lay down on the sofa and pretended to snore. The 12 princesses giggled. Then, instead of getting into their beds, they took off their pajamas and put on their finest dresses and their shoes. Here, princess is giggling and the soldier snoring. Next, the eldest princess went to her bed and clapped her hands. Her bed flew up to the ceiling, and a trapdoor that was underneath sprang open. The princesses skipped happily down one after the other. When the room was empty, the soldier jumped up and put on the cloak the old woman had given him. He marveled at himself in one of the room's many mirrors. He was quite invisible, just as the old woman had said he would be. Then, quickly and quietly, he followed the girls down through the trapdoor. He found himself descending a steep lamp-lit staircase. At the bottom, he came out into daily light, where a beautiful silver lake sparkled under. Wow. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Under a pale blue sky, he could see all the princesses sitting in little boats traveling across the water to an island in the very middle of the lake. There was one boat still left on the shore, and the soldier leaped into it and rowed after them. When they reached the island, the soldier followed the girl to a splendid castle. Inside, the great hall was decorated for a magnificent ball. There were lanterns and flowers and even a grove of glittering golden trees. The soldier had never seen golden trees before, and he reached up to break off a twig and hide it under the cloak to take with him. Snap! The youngest princess heard the noise and said to her sisters, "Did you hear that? Princess is having a ball. How cool is that?" "What was it? Do you think someone is here with us?" But the eldest princess said, "Don't be silly, of course not." And she set off into the hall, leaving her sisters to follow. The princess joined the guests, having a wonderful time there, and they danced and danced and danced. The soldier danced invisibly with them too. By 3 o'clock in the morning, the princesses had danced so much that their shoes were quite worn out, so they had to stop. They said a joyful but very goodbye to the other guests, promising to come back again the next night. Then the soldier had seen enough. He knew he had to keep his wits about him or he would not reach the princesses' bedrooms before they did. As the princesses were putting on their caps and hats, ready for the return journey, he ran swiftly from the castle and back to the lake. Then he rowed as hard as he could back across the lake and ran at full pelt to the stairs. By the time the princesses had climbed back up to their bedroom, he was lying just where they had left him on the sofa, seemingly fast asleep. Of course, the next morning, the princess's shoes were inspected, and once more they were full of holes and quite worn out. The soldier was shown before the king, and the 12 princesses stood listening behind the door to hear what he was going to say. But when the king asked the soldier with a weary voice, "So, why are my daughter's shoes worn out each morning?" The soldier did not mumble and stutter like all the other young men had done. Instead, he told the unlikely tale of how the princesses had danced all night. The king glowered at the soldier. He thought the whole story sounded highly unlikely. He was about to accuse him of making the whole thing up when the soldier pulled out the golden twig and offered it as proof of his adventure. The king examined the twig carefully. It sparkled and twinkled at him in the early morning light. He had never seen anything of its kind before. He called for the princesses, who were astonished at the soldier knowing their secret. They told their father the truth at once. Then the king asked the soldier which of the princesses he would choose for his wife. I'm sure it's the youngest. Of course he chose the youngest. I told you. For she was the one who had nearly guessed he was there. Fair enough. And after they were married, he made sure he danced with her and her sisters every day. Well, not bad. Okay, my dear, see you next time. Bye.